And we're back. You tuned into Sport Federation TV. From Cape Town Sailing, we have two amazing guests joining us, Russell Wolmer and Brian Webb. Russell, you've been involved with sailing for quite a while now. Tell us about your involvement.
Yes, I've been involved in sailing for many years. I started sailing before I had my accident, and I was very fortunate after a period of non-sailing, getting back into the game of sailing. And I got involved through buying a boat that sail at Royal Cape Yacht Club. I've been involved in Royal Cape Yacht Club. I'm a past Commodore of the club there. I've been fortunate to sail across the Atlantic twice, once to Rio and once to Salvador. And then got involved in sailing for people with disabilities. Now I've been doing it going overseas. And I was very fortunate to be invited to represent South Africa in the Paralympics in 2000 in Sydney. And since then, I've upped my involvement in sailing for people with disabilities, and hence my involvement with Milnerton Aquatic Club and Brian in the new venture that we're going to come up with in the creation of a centre for people with disabilities to sail from MAC. And it's all around a boat called the SV14, which is a project where the yacht designers have actually given their free time and intellectual capital to design a yacht very specifically for people with disabilities, and a cost-effective one, because in the world of sailing, yachts are not cheap, and unfortunately here in South Africa, importing boats from overseas is very expensive. So the SV14 is a new design, it's a pioneering yacht, and we're looking forward to very much participating and being part of Milnerton's project to become, I would say, the biggest disabled sailing centre in the whole of South Africa.
Well, Brian, you're from Milnerton Aquatic Club, or otherwise known as MAC. I'm sure you're quite excited about the recent developments.
Yes, we are. I think it's a fundamental issue to get transformation going, especially with disabled people of colour and women. And I think with disabled, it covers all three pillars. So we thought it was a great opportunity. We've got a beautiful body of water that we can use. We've got Cape Town, the best view of Cape Town. You've got the whole mountain in front of you. And we think we have a fantastic establishment to host this type of event.
Yes, and I mean, you said this is the prototype, and I'm sure in years to come there'll be other additional measures that will be put in place to encompass people with a variety of disabilities. Hey?
Well, the whole idea with the boat is to enable anybody with any disability to sail. And myself personally, just to put people into the picture, is that I'm defined as quadriplegic. I had a diving accident and I broke my neck. I actually was sailing the day. I was a 19-year-old national serviceman in the Navy. And that happened down at Sunflay, unfortunately, at the club there. But the first stage of everything is you have to start something. So we're starting in Cape Town, and we're hoping that other clubs in the country are going to want to take up the challenge and create their own centres for people with disabilities to come sailing. There has been efforts in Gauteng area. Clubs are doing quite a good job there, but the SV14 as a project and as the boat is actually, to use the terminology, bleeding edge. It's really right up there. It's a beautiful looking boat. It's got a lot of technology available to it, but in the basic form, the boat starts out at a very cost-effective price. I'll put a price value to it right now of €3,500. Now, €3,500 doesn't sound a lot in euros, but in rand terms, it is a lot of money. But an equivalent boat of the type that have been sailed in Europe by people with disabilities would cost at least 3 times that much. So for 3 times the value of the existing boats that are used, we can get 3 SV14 sailing here in Cape Town.
Amazing. Well, all this talk about the SV14, we're going to take a look at the footage now of the development of this amazing engineering feat, and stay tuned for that. Well, Brian, that footage just shows us what an amazing engineering accomplishment that is. And Mac can look forward to a proud partnership with this project.
Yes, I think it's wonderful going forward, and I think it'll do sailing a lot of good as well. It'll get the people that haven't been able to sail to be able to sail, to be able to afford to sail. But let me tell you a little bit about MAC. Milnerton Aquatic is made up of various aquatic sports, one being sailing, the other being stand-up paddle, kayaking, and also windsurfing, which is a big event. We've got people that come over from overseas just to do windsurfing, to train for the Olympics and for the international arena. So we have a lot to offer, and I just think that bringing in this this type of bringing in this type of opportunity using helping the disabled is fantastic, and I think it's wonderful going forward.
Well, Sailing South Africa must be ecstatic now that this project has come to fruition.
Well, I hope they are, because I think they should have done something about it years ago.
Okay.
So I think it's taken the individuals to get together and do something. What Russell has put into this project is a lot of time and effort, and I think Milnerton Aquatic will be a fantastic venue for them.
Certainly another notch in your legacy. Hey, Russell.
Well, not my legacy. For me, it's not about me. It's about what I can give to the people around me. And I look at my years of being in a wheelchair and the number of people around me with disabilities who've not had opportunities. And I certainly feel that if I can leave anything, it'd be to allow other people with disabilities to get onto the water and enjoy a sport which I think is so special and which has given me a lot of enjoyment in my life. And the SV14 is going to take sailing into another dynamic. When it gets to the international forum, watch this space, because I think this boat's going to do amazing things. And I think our partnership with Milnerton Aquatic is going to be so special because we have such a good piece of water to work with. It's close to the land, it's safe, we don't need to have lots of boats running around. I've done a bit of sailing with the SV14 out in Table Bay, and it can be quite daunting. So when you've got people who've never sailed before and you suddenly put them on this boat and it's in a nice confined space of water which is very safe, and they're going to start discovering, and if they want to then get on a boat and cross the ocean, they know they can do it. But they've learned to sail at MAC with the coaching and the facilities that MAC offer. It's not just us with disabilities, but the members of Milnerton Aquatic are also going to get involved in the project. And you can see those members are going to get a lot of enjoyment out of helping people get back onto the water, because the sailors at MAC, it's a great sailing club. There are a lot of very passionate sailors at that club.
Yeah, and being involved with empowerment on any level is really a joyful experience. The ability to be able to contribute that way to society.
Yes, most definitely.
Okay.
It's a way to get back.
And I don't know why Russell is being so modest, because what he's accomplished is nothing short of phenomenal. So thank you for that, and thank you for how deeply you have managed now to get a project off that's going to affect so many people in such a phenomenal way.
It's with a lot of help of some very special people around me.
Yes.
They
Well,
all
when
make it work.
when you return to the show, I hope you come back with your team so we can have a special spotlight specifically on the SV14. It'll probably inspire other sports to also adapt their resources to make it available. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much. We wish Milnerton Aquatic and the SV14 project all the best for the future.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the time.
And folks, we'll be back after the break, and we'll be taking a look at the National Youth Fly Fishing Tournament that was held in the Western Cape very recently. Please stay tuned for that.